Orioles coverage all week long here at WNST. And, of course, the Birds headed out to San Diego, then Seattle, and down to Los Angeles, take on the Dodgers right around the 4th of July. My week begins, and it's kind of a slow time in sports here, right? It's the end of June. I'm watching a little soccer, watching a little pre-Olympic stuff, kind of waiting for football to begin. Basketball and hockey are done now. And when something awesome comes to my desk, I haven't had this guy on the program in probably 10 years. I love him because he's short like me and got it done. He is Baltimore through and through, although he's down in Charlotte these days. And back up here in Baltimore, honoring his sister who passed a year ago, sadly, of lung cancer. We welcome the great Tyrone Muggsy Bogues back to WNST. I've been watching him dribble since Dunbar and Wake Forest. And last time I think I saw you, Charles Barkley was buying me beer in Vegas. Muggsy, where you been hiding? How are you, my friend?
Hey, Nestor, how you doing, buddy? Appreciate you having me on.
I appreciate you being here. So I get a text early in the morning on Monday from your publicist, says you're in town, your sister, and you're being honored, and the mayor's involved in this, and you're over at Trudeau Park. First off, welcome home. I mean, I feel like I don't see you anymore, and it's because you're going to live here. But what's going on this week to bring you back to Baltimore, man?
Yes, thank you. I want to thank the mayor, Stephanie Rollins, for proclaiming the Sharon Bogues Day, June 27. We're having an event at Druid Park for the boys and girls, kids, games, fun, music, live action. So it's going to be an exciting time at the park for the kids. And one thing I want to honor my sister because she's done so much for the youth. She ran pretty much all the programs, basketball as well as football, and she was so committed and passionate to make sure that, that the kids, the youth, reach their full potential.
I know I know you know about my wife's cancer journey. I mean,
yes.
Tell me about Sharon, your sister, and, after living so, as you pointed out, with kids, dedicating her life to athletics and all, it's just cancer sucks, man. I mean, I'm always in the middle of the battle on my end, but until it happens within your family, you really can't fathom what other people are going through.
Yeah, it does. I lost my mom through the same way in 2001 through lung cancer. So, it hit me home twice with my sister and my mom. But, that's something that, we got to continue to try to, find a cure for this crazy disease that's out here that's taking our loved ones away. But my sister, she was so committed and passionate to do her work through athletics, to inspire the kids and make sure that they have so much to continue to believe in. Coming from the inner city of Baltimore, you know how dim it could be, but she was so strongly passionate about making sure that the kids had a gym, had tournaments to play in, as well as the coaches. The coaches may not have the money and the funds to sign the kids up. My sister didn't care. She wouldn't allow those coaches to sign the team up, and they can get the funding in at whatever time that they possess for them. So that's how honored how committed she was in making sure that the youth had an opportunity to reach their full potential.
Muggsy, I mean, you're like sort of the living embodiment of all of that, right? I mean, of a kid who was always told you're too small, maybe you could do it, maybe not the first guy picked until you got better at sports. But, I mean, sports, they always say that was your way out. I mean, it's defined your life, right? And I guess defined everyone around you, including your sister, who decided to try to, if you can't be a Muggsy, at least you can stay in school, get yourself an education. Maybe you're not going to go to the NBA 5-3 and play, a decade the way you did. But, obviously sports is just such a huge part of everything that's defined your life.
Oh, and absolutely. And she was the one that taught me that. I mean, she was the one that showed me the way as a kid, as a female, being fearless, small, not worrying about what anyone said about her. She went out there and played football with the guys. I mean, that's how committed she was to playing and not caring about what anyone believed. And by me saying that, it gave me that desire, that willingness to fearless, not care about what anybody said, and go out there and prove people wrong as well. So, coming from that atmosphere and having people who've done it before you, it kind of eased that pathway for you. It gives you a little vision of it's possible can be done. And my sister was able to see me take it all the way through and reach my dreams. And she was the one that continued to make sure that I understood that how important it was to get back into the community. Don't forget the kids that that you came before you or that's now behind you. Make sure they have an opportunity to believe that they can have and also a future in life.
Well,
and it's beyond basketball. It's just life in general.
yeah, I would think when your sister stood up in front of a bunch of kids, and I'm sure she paraded you around once or twice a year, right? But in working, and my father was one of those people too. My father coached Little League teams. He was very involved, over Colgate Elementary, where my mom still lives, with the, Department of Parks and Recreation and Fun Center and Drop-In Center and League Basketball and Rec Ball and all that stuff. That's such a foundational part, and I think in my neighborhood especially, every one of those people was an incredible mentor, and to have you be able to come in and be part of it once a year and run a clinic or run around and doing what you're doing, but they could always relate to you, Muggsy, because like I pointed out at the beginning, you were short like me. I mean, it wasn't like seeing Shaq or somebody. I mean, everybody looked at you and said, hey, I can be like Muggsy.
Well, I go around the world inspiring kids, and anytime I come in contact with any youth, I want to let them know that anything is possible, because we have so many people believing that they expert on one's life, and here it is, they don't know the individual at all. So, that's what this American dream is about, believing and having the opportunity to do so. The game of basketball, I felt that it was meant for whoever had the ability to play the game. So I didn't look at it any other way. I pursued it the way that I felt that, any other kid had that dream. But for some reason, people had a different opinion because they felt like this game was meant for taller people. So, you got to just believe in yourself. And when you're able to do that, you set that mindset for yourself, you're able to break down those barriers.
13 years in the NBA, Tyrone Muggsy Bogues back in Baltimore doing some good stuff over at Druid Hill Park, being honored by the mayor, as well as honoring his departed sister, who we lost last summer to lung cancer in Sharon. And what are you doing, man? You live in Charlotte, right? I mean, is that where primarily you spend 11 months a year there, or you still traveling the world doing stuff, man?
Yeah. I reside in Charlotte, serving as an ambassador for the NBA. They got me traveling across the world. Actually, I head to Spain tomorrow on their behalf after this great event. But we just trying to continue to spread this great word and great game that we play that I'm so passionate about. And also, I have a foundation called Always Believe that I admire and inspire some at-risk kids, ages 6 to 18, boys and girls. We got an after-school program down in Charlotte. I adopted 3 schools in the city. So just trying to do my part and give back. My sister, she was the pioneer of it, and I want to make sure I continue to represent the Bogues family the way my mom, Elaine Bogues, instilled in me.
What'd you think of the LeBron mania, man? I know you're watching still, and I know you got plenty of friends in the league and down there in Charlotte watching these guys come through. You played a lot of games in Cleveland, going back to Richfield and all that. A little parade for Cleveland. That was nice to see, right?
Yeah, it was nice to see. I was happy for LeBron. My heart was with Golden State, being a former player for the organization, as well as seeing, young Steph Curry, who kind of pretty much grew up watching him as a little kid since he was a baby. So I had a little biased opinion there, but I was so happy for LeBron, and the city of Cleveland, because it's well deserving. Everything has been said. There's nothing else to be said. About the journey that they was on and how they was able to accomplish it. You just got to tip your hat off to him, and the way he was able to go home and deliver on his promise. That's something to be said about.
Yeah, I'm doing the math on all of this because, I remember you playing in the ACC tournament, Wake Forest, down at the Capitol Center, and coming in with the Wizards for a moment or two and then going down to Charlotte. You literally were there, Del Curry, when he was born, literally, right? I looked at birthday 88, and I'm like, hey now, you've known Del all that time as well. You really have known him since he was born, right?
Yeah, Del and I played 11 years together. Stephen and was playing, him and my kids grew up and playing with one another. They got a video showing me giving him a little airplane ride in the locker room when he was a kid. So, that's how special it is right now watching him and seeing what he's doing. It's just mind-boggling. I know where he came from, and I know who he is, and it's remarkable just watching the growth of it. You know, him on and off the court. He got a beautiful family. He comes from great genes, and he's doing it the right way.
I wish we could all shoot the ball like that, right? I mean, I always say it's like the Harlem Globetrotters, right? I know you had friends that played with the Globetrotters. It's almost like a trick shot thing that he does. I mean, the Warriors all the way around, just kind of shocking they lost in the end, right? I mean, you know how hard it is to try to win 73 games in a regular season.
Oh, it's hard to win 8 games, yeah, 73 alone, I'll tell you, especially on the road, because, you know, it's so many things that plays into it. You know, with 82 games, 41 on the road, guys may not feel good that day getting up. You know, you're traveling, you may be under the weather. Anything could come into play, but those guys were able to sustain that focus and kept that mindset for, 73 games, and which is unheard of. You know, unfortunately, they weren't able to see it all the way through with the championship.
How often you get back to Baltimore, Muggsy?
Quite a bit. Still got a house out in Ellicott City. You know, family's still here. Got my daughter, who's my oldest daughter, lives up there with my grandkids, my grandson and granddaughter. You know, he's a big ball player. My grandson, he's pretty in the circus, so I'm up here quite a bit, off and on, just out, I sneak in. Well, I don't want to say sneak in, but I'm in and out. It's just that, probably not as many folks know I'm in town when I'm here.
Well, you fade in with the crowd, man.
That's what I love. That's what home is. That's what home is. You just blend right on in.
Hey, man, it's always great to catch up with you. I always appreciate everything you did, as a player, and all those events you threw down at the arena for charity and giving back to the city. And I know your sister was a big part of that as well. Feel the pain of your loss, and certainly send our condolences. But you're here to celebrate her life here, not to mourn her, correct?
Thank you. Yes, I am here to celebrate, and trying to get the Baltimore City to come out and help me celebrate. We're looking forward to a great evening, great tournament for the kids, to inspire them. So, again, food, music, games, and just a lot of fun to be up at Drew Hill Park. Just wish everybody come on out and support, help spread.
Muggsy, now I know you're on Twitter. I'm going to follow along now. At Muggsy Bogues. Now I know where to find you. I even got your phone number. It's even better. Hey, man, keep up the great work. Enjoy the trip over to Europe there, over to Spain and doing all that. And maybe I'll bring you back on, talk some Olympic basketball in a couple of weeks, man.
Thanks, Nestor. Enjoy, buddy.
Muggsy, always the best, man. There he goes. Big in spirit, big in heart. The great Muggsy Bogues, inspiring all of us under 6 feet tall to get it done. I tell you, man, Charles Barkley only bought me one beer in his life, and it's because of Muggsy. So I got to tip my cap to Muggsy for that. Had an interesting evening with Charles Barkley in Las Vegas 15 years ago. Muggsy's always great to come home. I was not aware of his sister passing, and just a wonderful thing that they've done here earlier this week. Save our youth through athletics out at the Druid Hill Park basketball courts on Monday. So great of Muggsy to check in. You can find him at MuggsyBogues.com as well as at Muggsy Bogues on Twitter and Instagram as well. You can find me out in the Bay, Toyota Audio Vault 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world. On your mobile devices, download the TuneIn Radio app. We come in crystal clear, the morning newspaper. Hits your email inbox at 7 a.m. each and every morning, and that is powered up by Planet Fitness and PlanetFitness.com. They're getting in shape there. And last but not least, any breaking news from the West Coast on the Orioles or on the Ravens here in the offseason, it all comes to you first on the WNST Tech Service. That's powered up by our friends at Coons Ford of Security Boulevard. I'm Nestor. This is WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Taos in Baltimore. And we never stop talking Baltimore sports. Muggsy.